Evening, guys.
Good evening, Steve.
Evening. First things first, guys. I apologise for the confusion. This is a new laptop and a new thing for me, so it's like got all the new software and I'm just like confused to death. So apologies for the confusion. I basically done two what's it called? How can I put it? Live streams basically. So this is the one it's on. Sorry about the confusion again, guys. And yeah, thanks for joining. Just wait for Jay. Oh, just speaking about the devil, he's just turned up. And there he is. Evening, Jay.
Evening, gents. Sorry.
No problem, mate. No problem.
I was doing a 5-minute job on the reef tank, and you know how it is. It turns into 45 minutes every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
It wasn't the old nitrate test, was it? Yeah, exactly, Ross.
No, it wasn't the Hannah's this time. I was just changing the filter floss, and then I was like, oh, I'll scrape the glass, and then I'll do this, and it just like builds up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dose a bit of iodine, and then I bought some live foods. I thought I've got to get them in, otherwise they're going to die before I put them in. So I've just been putting them in as well. So a bit late, but apologies. It was reefing, so hopefully people forgive me.
You can keep the live foods in the fridge, Jay, can you not?
So what was that, Ross?
You can keep the live foods in the fridge, mate. They'll last for a while in there.
Yeah, do you know what? I think my fridge is too cold.
That's the freezer, mate.
Really?
You could try the one above it.
Right?
If you open the other door above it, that's the fridge. The one below is the freezer.
It's already started.
With only 1 minute 40 into it, and you know, and he just said the fridge is too cold.
Mate,
so do you keep the frostbite in there?
So in the LFS, when I pick them out of the LFS, the fridge doesn't feel that cold. I would say about 5 degrees or something. When I put them in mine at 2 degrees, I go the next day and most of them are dead. Honestly.
Are they dormant though?
Oh yeah, they're probably dormant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go dormant.
Yeah.
What, and
then when you put them in the tank, they wake up.
Yeah, but you've got to warm it up first. Don't put it straight in from the fridge cold.
Put it room temperature.
Yeah, you put it in your floating tank
or something like that on the net and let it warm up.
Yeah.
I've just put them in cold here. Freezing. You're not
supposed
to. No, the copepods are still. They're all knocking around in here anyway.
You're supposed to acclimate.
What the food?
They're like
Seriously?
Yeah, you just to.
I don't know, right? I don't know if this is a wind up now. Is it serious? I'm going to drip acclimate with brine shrimp. I don't think so.
No. You just put them on top so they'll warm up.
All right.
I actually just set mine on the table next to the tank and leave them there for about half an hour, and then they come to life again.
There we go. Yeah, they'll wake up, Jay. You just fry them.
Oh my God! Yeah, mine get like shock because they go from freezing cold to red hot water.
Could you not set up like a
it's dormant tonight? Black Pearl Reef. I'm done. I've had the busiest week at work, and I'm done. I'm worn out. Yeah.
So you've not done much on the tank then this week, Jay? No,
mate, hardly anything. Apart from I've broke the D&D cooling fans.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I think when because it's like a little flappy thing that flaps down. Yes. Well, when I'm doing my maintenance, I put my flap down, right, and then salt water. Look, I can show you what I mean. Look,
it's not 9 o'clock yet. Come on, keep it sweet.
So I put my flap down like that, and then like salt water. I use it like as a little resting thing for me, like me media or me like my filter floss and things like that. And then water just creeps a little bit into the D&D. I thought I'll be all right because obviously it's designed for saltwater tanks, but I've broken it. So I've had to buy a new one. Well, I best not show me address.
Right, I'm just going to stop you there, Jay. Tell me you didn't buy the DD ones again and you went and got the cheaper ones.
Ross. Live unboxing here, look.
And can I also stop you again and suggest that we're now in winter, so you won't need them again until next year?
That's a good point.
Well, yeah, I know, but my house gets quite warm.
Turn the heating off.
So.
Wrong button, Steve.
So I've gone for the boil. I think these
ones, mate.
I think these are they Welsh boil?
Yeah.
all the way from China.
Yeah, they are the Chinese ones. So, like you said, Ross, they're the imitation ones. So I thought if I broke those,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna get the cheaper version and see how close they match.
but
Yeah.
Jay, with the other
I think
ones,
there's-
with the other ones,
We might have an
put them
issue,
down.
boys.
Oh fuck.
Unplug.
What the hell's that? Ross, you told me
It's
to
your-
buy the cheap ones.
You want to pee?
I can't even plug them in.
Is there no adapters in the box for it?
You quite often get adapters, Jay.
Yeah, you've bought the European ones, mate. You've been mugged.
You've been Brexited.
What is that, Ross? What is that there? What am I supposed to do with that?
Buy the right one.
Well, I'm going to have to get an adapter, but let's have a look then. To be honest, though, Ross, like the actual wiring, the fans are exactly the same fans.
It looks exactly the same.
It's exactly the same.
It's probably made. It's probably
So
made
just
by
plug
the
in the
same
other one.
company, mate.
Yeah.
It's just the adapters.
Yeah, so use the power cable from your other one and plug it into the new one.
Well, I
Could
could
do
do that, or maybe I could move house.
Oh, you could. It's probably easier to plug it into the other one, but you could try that.
Where do I need to go, Ross? Germany or something with that? Where do I go with that?
Don't know where that is. That an American one, mate?
Have you got?
It's
have
not
you got?
it's not European, that is it?
Have you got?
Do you want to
American.
pay on it?
American's a pin. I think that one might be Chinese or something, is it not?
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is? Can anybody tell me in the chat where that's from? Because I don't even actually know. But anyway, so long story short, this one is exactly the same apart from the adapter, and it's half the price. This one was £24. That one was £50, but it is exactly identical.
Yeah, and you got to pay £30 for an adapter.
There you go, mate. Garrett's answered your question on the screen, Jay.
It's an American.
What's he said? It's an American one, right? Okay. I bought it from eBay and it came within like 2 days, so God knows. But it's obviously not come direct from the US. China,
No.
maybe.
It'd be China, but it should have gone to the US.
But I don't know what might have broke. Actually, it might be my connector up there.
Well, try it live on air and we'll see if it goes bang.
I might just plug it in. Just give me a second, see what
Go on,
happens.
give it a go.
Go on, mate. Try it and see.
Because this.
Has anybody got the number for 999 in case this goes wrong?
Right, I need to mess with the settings though to make the tank so it's like so the fans come on earlier. Oh,
Take the plug out of the adapter, out of the controller. Can you do that?
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you got it in a DD controller, haven't you? If you take it out
Oh,
of there,
yeah.
just-
Oh, yeah.
just
Well, that's
plug it
right
in
now.
and-
I know what you're saying now. Yeah, but that's right now.
Yeah.
The back.
Maybe I should have just let you carry on. That might have been funny.
Well, I could have made the temperature 25.5, then they'd have kicked in then. You know,
Yeah.
on the control unit.
Better watching this.
I just
Please don't watch this. Do something else for a minute.
yeah, but this is
Stop
riveting stuff, though, isn't it, Jay?
What more would you want?
It'd
on
be
a
Friday
phone like
night to
this?
come to me plugging in a Chinese plumbing thing.
Yeah, that's a great one by Cotty's Reef.
I'm
Well, you
really,
can
really sorry.
Extension lead throughout the Atlantic Ocean, from west to east.
Conti, that's ace, mate. That's brilliant. That is. Thank you.
Michael Butler's put "Where's Black Pearl?" I've actually been asking that for the past 5 minutes myself.
Yeah,
He's
it's
missed out
coming.
on comedy gold here.
I think he's stunned into silence.
He
probably
was
fell
on
off,
before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's definitely on.
He wasn't on last week because I messaged him and asked him if he was all right because he wasn't on.
He's definitely
So-
on here.
Going back to buying cheap, there's that debate, isn't there, about this hobby and going cheap. So I've actually saved £25 on this. But is it
Saved
actually
what?
worth it? Is it
Yeah,
worth
but-
it whilst I've got my arm down the back of the tank?
Yeah, that's right. This is the subject, isn't it? Is it worth it? Cheaper,
Right.
better than the.
We're
Is
out.
it the same? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Is it the same adapter, that Jay? Yeah.
So this is my original UK adapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other one is foreign. So
It should
let's
fit
try-
in there.
Let's try and plug in, shall we?
Bang.
It should definitely fit in.
See smoke coming from the right.
Oh, yes. There it is.
So, there we go. Did it
Working.
fit?
Yeah, it
Yes.
fits, yeah.
It's working.
Perfect.
So, I won't need
problem solving live on a Friday night.
I won't need that one, boys. We're in business. So we need to wait till next summer now. I'm not joking. Like you said, Ross, that it's exactly the same fans.
Yeah, they are.
I'll get my other one off. Watch this. I'll get the other one off. This is the UK one. The D&D Ocean Breeze.
They're completely identical, just rebranded with DD on the end of them rather than Boyu.
Right. So you've just seen that one come off. So that's the Ocean Breeze D&D. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the new one that you might be able to hear it. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same fans, same layout.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
You can hear it, yeah. It's exactly the same. Half the price. So reefing can be done cheaper.
Well, can't beat that, Jay.
Okay, so if anybody lives anywhere that isn't in winter just now, then you can get one of them.
With the correct plug.
I mean, it's not like I had to scrape the ice off my van window this morning and the previous morning, so we'll be fine now, mate.
It's not that close here.
You could have used a fan, though. Ross, you could have used a fan.
I could have, mate. That's where I've slipped up with that. I should have took the fan that I've removed off my tank weeks ago and put in the cupboard and mounted it on the windscreen of the van, and then I've been fine. Problem solved.
That's the only difference, look. That one said D&D on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the same factory, basically. And that one.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Looks identical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're probably You know what, Jay? They're probably exactly the same fans. I bet if you took it apart, they'd be exactly the same, mate. You know what I mean?
Same brand of fans. They're from the same factory, I believe, but just that one's £25 more because it's got a D&D brand on it. So I was sucked in before to that. I think a little bit.
So Jay, I would recommend not putting it so close to the water because it looked like when you put that down, it looked like it was in the water.
Oh no, I've got the jump guard, D&D jump guard.
Yeah.
Which there probably is a half price version of that now, come to think of it, which I didn't find.
Yeah. You could have one with 3 sides.
Well, yeah, there you go. Live unboxing, money saved. There you
Can't
go.
beat that, mate.
I wonder how many other reefing products are, and help us out in the chat, that are exactly the same like they are, but they've got different brands and the different prices.
Well, a lot of the Jabara stuff, isn't it? They do one that's very similar to the Nero. They've been making Tunzi on some of their pumps for quite a while. The Max Specs Gyras, I think they got a version of that as well. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's quite a few, and also the return pump.
Yeah,
I think there's pretty much copies of everything in this hobby so far, isn't there?
Yeah,
of course. Well, which ones are the cheaper versions of the like I said, the Neros? Who was the one they made then? They're exactly the same. The dead thin ones, the Nero 5s and the Nero 3s. I can't remember the company that made. They look identical.
Is it not Jabara?
It might be Jabara. I don't know, but I
thought it was them.
I remember seeing them, in the shop, and I was like, they look exactly the same. Exactly the same. I mean, cheaper plastic, of course, but you could tell it wasn't as good quality, but it was the same principle, with it all. But yeah,
I like the look of those Neros. I know Ross has got one, and I really like the look of them. They look really sleek.
I've got the Nero 3, and my only criticism with it is that you can't really angle it as much as you can with the cheaper kind of Jabo ones and so on. It's got a limit because it's a flat disc on the back. You can angle it slightly, but you can't angle it fully to. If you want to be angling at 45 degrees, you're never going to get that.
Yeah. So, because I've got the Jabo little wave maker, and it's got almost full flexibility all the way around. It's really good. I can't fault it, to be honest. It looks ugly, and it takes up a little bit of the kind of swimming area, as it were, in the Nano, because it comes out quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, it's a good wave maker. It just doesn't look that nice. Really?
Yeah, I mean, the Nero 3 that I've got does a brilliant job. I mean, you can control it all from the app, the same as I do with the light. So it's the same app and everything. And it's a powerful little pump. I've got the Nero 3, and I've got it set to, I think it's 30%. I'm on just now 40%. I need to double check. But, I mean, it's a powerful little pump. It does everything that you want. You can get all the flow patterns that you want and get everything moving the way you want it. But it's just the maneuverability on it isn't there. That's the only issue with it.
Yeah.
You can move it a little bit, but when you put the guard on the back, it restricts it, doesn't it?
You see, that's why I've got 3 different pumps in my tank, because, like you said, the vortexes, like the MP10s, 40s, and then you have the Nero 3s, the Nero 5s and stuff. They're all, like you said, they're fixed, and they've only got like a very small maneuverability with them. Whereas on the other side of the tank, I've got the gyro, and the gyro can go in alternating modes. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot more different flow patterns to it, what you can have with the gyros. A lot of people don't like the gyros. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. You could turn them which way you want, because they're simultaneously. So you can have one point on the surface.
Both ends different then, mate. I thought the
at
one time.
So you could turn one. So I have one on the pointing to the surface of the water, so it makes the water movement, and then I have one pointing down, more downwards, so it gets the back of the detritus and stuff at the back. So it gets it blowing along the back wall. So so it's a really good idea, you know what I mean? And there's a lot more you can have and plus, like you said, you can put it on different settings as well, so it's even better. You know what I mean? Through the day, through the 24 hours. So I think they're really, really good. You know what I mean? I mean, it takes more cleaning, obviously. You take different parts and stuff, but for me, I think they're great. I think they're really, really good.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard a few people saying about the maintenance on them is a little bit more than you get on, say, an MP 10 or 40 or the Nero.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to have a pair of them, Steve. You have to see like one at either end, don't you?
Yeah, you can do. I think if when these two die on me, or like the MP, I think I'm going to probably get another one on the other end. So I've got them both and run them simultaneously, alternating. So one will do, like, say, pulse mode that way, and then a few seconds later I'll get the pulse mode going the opposite way. So it gives that reef crest mode, like that sort of ocean movement. That's what I think I'll do next time. But I'm not just going to go out and buy one just for the sake of it. I'll wait until them two die. Do you know what I mean? And then. But I probably will go for the gyro again, another one, to be truthful.
But it's working though, isn't it? But I get what you mean about having different pumps, because in the one in the garage, I've got an MP40, the Nero 3, and also a small Tunzi pump. So you get 3 different flows on, and obviously you can do random different flows as well. So I think it works quite well. Whereas the one over here, I got 2 MP40s, and it's pretty much the same. So I think I would vary the flow in terms of the different types of pumps, and you just get better angles, I think.
Yeah,
let's say it's, instead of like the power of the flow, it's more to do with the randomization of the flow. So having 2 or 3 heads that are completely doing random flows, all the time within the tank, trying to replicate the sea, that's where you get the best kind of response from the corals as well, isn't it? Rather than just a big power head, as it were, constantly in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I've just looked there that Practical Reefers put a comment saying about the Jabo crossflow gyre. So I've just Googled that there, and it's coming in at £75 compared to 172 for the Max Spec one.
Wow, that's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, almost £100 cheaper for the Jabo one.
Exactly. I mean, there's got to be some sort of different parts to them. You know what I mean? That one might be slightly noisy. I don't know. I've not got it, so I wouldn't like to comment. But I mean, that's a big difference, like you said, a big save in that. But if it does the job, you know what I mean, and it lasts, even if it lasts you a year and a half or something, 2 years, whatever, it's done its job on it. You know what I mean? And it saved you some money, but for sure.
Tonight's stream is your money saving stream. See how much money we can save on alternatives. So there you go. We've done a gyre, we've done fans, D&D, as opposed to the Chinese cheaper versions. Maybe
Nick's put down, he likes the gyros. Easier to create a laminar surge flow. Exactly. Yeah. That's it. That's exactly what it is. You can just do so many different things with them gyros, because, like I said, you can turn either one a different way. So you know what I mean. Especially if you've got one on one side and one on the other, you can have them alternating. So you can have it like pointing like that way. You know what I mean, and that way. So it just gives that surge all the way around. I think they are good. But a lot of people tend to go for the name ones, don't they? Like the main ones, like the vortexes, like you said, the Neros and stuff like that. They tend to stick to what they know. You know what I mean, rather than experimenting.
Mind you, the Nero 3, look at the price of that. I think it's about 150. Yeah, an MP10, I think, is 250. And I've got both, and I've done that test. And in terms of the output, it's virtually the same.
Exactly.
So it's definitely, I don't think, worth £100 more. The only advantage is obviously you can pull the wet side off, and you can put another one back on, so you can say it's easier to clean, and also you've got no wires.
Yeah,
so
I do like the MP40s. Sorry, the MPs, the Vortexes. I do like
absolutely.
them.
I've got them, and I'd buy them again. Just the comparison of those two between the MP10 and the Nero 3. I don't think there's 100 quid in it in terms of the value or the output or the control, because the control is pretty good because they both use virtually the same app, don't they? AI and Ecotech.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing is, I think the days of Chinese stuff being subpar quality is kind of gone now. The Chinese stuff can compete with most things. I mean, even out with the reefing world, the cheaper Chinese stuff's doing the job exactly the same as the most expensive stuff. So I don't think it's really all about the brand and so on now.
No. Practical Reefers, but he's just got it. The J-Bow cross flow gyro for his next tank. Not tried it, but it looks decent. So yeah, be interesting. Can't wait to see the when you do try it on and put it on your tank and see the difference. Like I said, I've got the max spec, so I'd like to see definitely see the difference and the comparisons for sure. But like you said, Ross, I think
further up, mate.
Sorry, which was?
Sorry, Phil's put a comment further up. Phil Hawks saying he's got a J-Bow Crossflow and an SLW30 on a 3-foot tank, both coming up for 2 years old and no problems.
Well, says it all then, doesn't it? You know what I mean, mate? Yeah.
And then Johnny down the bottom said that he's Chinese and he's top quality. Now I know Johnny, and I don't know if top quality is probably the best way to describe him, but we'll let him have that moment.
Oh God. So anyway, what's been going on with your tanks, guys? Anything new? Anything different? Any disasters or not this week? Paul?
Not really. Go on, Ross, you go first then.
Excuse me. So I'm still battling my whole phosphate issue. I don't know if I mentioned that in last week's live stream or not. But my phosphate's been high. It was up at 0.22 last week. So I know we had a kind of discussion behind the scenes of what was best to go with. So long story short, after a bit of looking about, I went and bought some raw phos, but I haven't used this yet. Still in the box. I've not even took it out, so it's still all sealed in there. What I did do was a product that I had in the tank, well, not in the tank, the product I had up here on the shelf of goodies, shall we say, was this Blue Life USA, the Phosphate RX stuff.
Yeah.
So I had that. Now, the instructions for this say that 6 drops of Phosphate RX will lower your phosphate by 0.5 ppm for every 10 gallons of water. Now, my tank's supposed to be a 15 gallon, so I took it that 6 drops would drop it by 0.5. But I didn't really want to go 0.5 because I was only at 0.2. So when I used this previously, now I can't remember the figures I had previously. When I got this way back when I had high phosphate, and I basically dropped in the recommended amount and my phosphate's plummeted to 0 straight away. So this time when I've used it, I've only put in 1 drop, and a single drop of this in my tank has took it from 0.22 to 0.1, which, to be fair, I'm happy with that. My nitrates last week were at my nitrates last week were at 10.2, if I remember right. They're now at 10, so in the space of a week, my nitrates seem to be pretty stable at 10, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
It's just the phosphate I need to get under control. So in the space of this week, so I'd done this at the start of the week, in the space of the week I've done a test again today, and my phosphates rose to 0.15. So it's rose 0.05 in the space of a week, give or take. So I'm going to need to put something in there to manage that, because I can't keep having it rise in that amount. There's too much, obviously. So I'm going to try the raw phos, I think, but I just need to get round a way of doing that. I noticed that, so Reef Community Worldwide asked what my nitrates were. Nitrates are at 10. They were at 10 last time, so I'm happy with the nitrates. It's just the phosphates need to get down. And next comment, I think it is lanthanum chloride based, the Phosphate RX, which is something that you need to be careful of, I believe. You can go too much with that. But I think that the Phosphate RX it's a good product, but it could be too good, I think. You need to watch that you don't completely strip everything out with that.
What was your nitrate? What are your nitrates, Ross? Reef Communities just put, what are your nitrates there again? Did you say on the latest ones? Your latest.
So they were at 10.2. They were at 10.2 last week. They're at 10 this week. So they're stable. They have been at 10 for a while
stable
now.
Yeah.
But that's me. I've dropped it down to only 4 max spec bio balls in the tank. But obviously I've got the rock work as well, which is going to be doing the job. But I'm down to only 4 blocks. Compared to the fact that I had a kilo in there when I first started, I'm now down to 4. So if anybody else has a tank that has max spec bio balls,
a kilo.
Don't put loads of them in. I had a kilo. So I'm now down to 4 balls. And
you should have been able to feed your tank a whole pack of like 50 of those cubes, and it should still remain like 2.
It was made of more. It just stacked up.
So yeah, that was a kind of learning curve, that one, that you can massively over filter the tank with the max spec bio balls. So I'm down to 4 bio balls now in the tank, which, to be fair, for the past few weeks has kept it pretty stable about the 10 mark, which I'm happy with. The phosphate is one thing that I need to kind of get on top of regular. Yeah, the phosphate RX is brilliant. It does probably too good a job, to be honest, but it's just not really sustainable to keep using that over and over again. I'd rather get something to keep it a bit more stable. I know the ideal thing is to get a reactor for the phosphate RX. No, rubber phos, sorry.
For the raw phos, yeah.
But I don't really have the space for that. So I think somebody else put in the comments there about put 12 grams of it in a bag and drop it in the rear chamber. So I'm going to do something similar to that. This does actually come with a little bag inside. It was one of the things that I was questioning at the time when I actually was buying it. But if you see in there's a little bag inside the packet. So I think it only comes in the smaller tubs, which is this one's 250 grams, which will last me a lifetime probably in this little tank. But if you get the smaller tubs, it comes with a bag. So I'll try that. Probably this week I'll put some in and see where it goes. I'll probably start with a very little amount because I don't want to strip it out again.
Cottage Reef has just put that, like you said, just drop 12 grams, and that's what we said. Drop it in your rear chamber, and just let the water flow. I mean, raw phos should be in a reactor. It should be, but as long as water can pass through it, and it's not like a torrent of water, like like really heavy, pushing it through. That's you just want it just passing through, just enough so it passes through it. So it just moves it a little bit, you know what I mean? Because otherwise you get that fine particles no matter what you do, you'll always get fat. I get it when I put it in mine. I only run it, like you said, the raw phos when my phosphates start to go up. Other than that, I switch my reactor off. Do you know what I mean? But I still get it even when I turn my reactor on. Very, very fine. You can still see little particles going back into your tank. You know what I mean? You're going to get it. It's inevitable. But it doesn't do any effects. No detrimental effects through the tank or whatever. It's just it's just one of those things. But just stick it in there. As
long as I can get it to tumble and do its thing, and then I think I'll be all right with that. I just need to try and figure out doses. I mean, I'm happy now my nitrates are stable. I just need to get the phosphate stable.
That's a fair point about maybe going under. So use a small amount, or you could use 2 bags, put 1 bag in, and then put the second bag into, and then also then you can take one of the bags out and refill it. Because some people I've seen you use two reactors, and then they'll rotate it. So therefore, you're not, if it's exhausted, you're not then taking it out then refilling it again. And that I think ties in with what Paul's saying there around using less, and you can do that over 2 weeks. Or just have 1 bag and then fill it up a little bit, but you should rinse it as well.
That's just what I was going to ask a question. That do you need to rinse it first?
I always do because it does. When you see how much actually comes out, the small amount. The downside of using that is really dirty in terms of what it leaves off in the water. But once you've cleaned it off, then you'll be fine. But it is really. I found it really good. In the past, I've used it.
I use it, Ross, in the final chamber, and it's really good. There's an online calculator that you can go on, and it'll ask what your the literage of your tank is. It'll ask you what your current phosphate is and what your target phosphate is, and then it'll tell you how many grams exactly that you need to put in. And that's what I use. I can't remember the exact address, but if you just put raw phos calculator, you'll find it online. But that might help.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
I don't wash mine, so for about half an hour the tank's like a bit of orange colour.
Yeah.
There we go.
I thought
it
said it had to stay wet, so I thought, right, I best keep it in there and get it straight in the tank. I didn't want it drying out, so I get it straight in there.
Yeah, but
anyway.
a
couple of people have messaged me about
that.
A couple of people have sent me messages about the ChemiPure nano packets saying they were brilliant. Now, I've heard great things about them, but again, I never tried them. But I think you buy them and it comes with like 12 packets of them, and you just drop a packet in and that's it.
Yeah. I used these in my 170 when I first started out. You know, when I was new to the hobby, and I was like, "What the hell's what's going on?" And I was getting frustrated with phosphates and nitrates, and I used the ChemiPures in mine, but I didn't use the nano packs. I just used the actual ChemiPure, the larger ones, and just I did it that way, and it was good. It definitely works, that for sure. The ChemiPure.
Yeah. Reef Community Worldwide said, "Go under on the dose. Always in this hobby, go under." I never dose the you can never dose the recommended. It's better to do
probably one of the best bits of advice, I think.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the best bits of advice you could give anybody is go under on all the recommended doses. That seems to be key thing. I mean, even from when I was first doing my cycle with Dr. Tim's, I think we all learned quickly that you need to go under the dosage with that, and everything you just seem to need to go under the dosage, and then at least you can work up if you've done that.
It's better to do 2 or 3, isn't it? Like much lower doses, and then just kind of go all out. Especially Rowaphos. Rowaphos is super keen.
Yeah, Nick's just put there. He'll get some of his stuff out to you, Ross, which is much cleaner if you like. So
that'd be brilliant. Thanks very much, Nick. I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's my only sponsor, Nick. That's the only sponsor I want, by the way.
Oh, you just going Jay's Real Reef Tea, are you?
No, I want Yorkshire Tea to sponsor me, but they keep ignoring me. I need to start tagging them more. Yeah, Nick said something about my first sponsor. I don't know, Rowaphos, I don't know, or Chinese fans maybe, but no, Yorkshire Tea is the only sponsor for me.
He's got platinum products. I think it was him that was offering you, mate.
The number of websites I've used Bearded Reef 10 though for my Christmas shopping. It's brilliant.
I just need to get Amazon on board, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, can you get Amazon on? Because that's where I spend most of my money actually at this time of year.
I spend money on Amazon all year round, mate.
My little boy's Lego, Bearded Reef 10. Oh dear.
Practical Reefers just put here on a similar subject. Does everyone run carbon? I was just as an old habit and never had issues, but stopped for nearly 2 months now and not seeing a difference. For me, I just run a carbon when I need to. Really, I don't run it. I don't tend to run it in my tank at all. Really, I only run it. Like if I see like a little, like the water quality is not as good as it should. Like it looks a bit like yellowy sort of thing, or there's something. Like when I first got my ICP test and I had that, and it said that I had tons of tin in it for some reason. I stripped out the whole tank, like all the sump, and I just couldn't find anything. And then I put like some carbon and stuff like that, and then I put that sponge, a sponge thing. I've forgotten the name of it now. The
polyfilter.
Yeah, the polyfilter. I put that in it, and it works its treat. And then I left it in for maybe 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, and then I took it out, and I've not put it back in since. So I know a lot of people do continuously run it. You know what I mean? Like have it in the tank all the time. You know what I mean? But no, I don't do that.
No, nor do I. I tend to, if I'm fragging zoas or mushrooms, or I've cleaned the tank and you've got quite a bit of crap in the tank, I'll put carbon in there just in case, but also to soak some of it up. But that's about it. But I also always have a polyfilter on hand just in case there's a problem, then I can put it in. So I have one of those on standby just in case there is a problem with the tank. Yeah. Never had to use one, I must admit. But
Jay,
I think it's well worth it.
You use it all the time?
Yeah, I use it all the time. Only a small amount, and I change it once every 4 months. But I obviously the main purpose is not for me is the clarity of the water. It's just like Paul was saying, take out any toxins that might be in, any contaminants that might be in. I just leave it in. I just leave it in there, and I've not had an adverse effect. So I think, well, whilst there's no adverse effect, I'll just keep it there as a bit of safeguarding. Nick, by the way, does he have the S2, Cade S2?
You've already said no to that sponsor, Jay. You've turned it down.
I genuinely, I only want to be sponsored by Yorkshire Tea, to be honest. That's it. I'm not. What am I? Who's going to sponsor me? It's all the crazy things that I do. Jesus.
I think that's why it's the publicity of the funny side of it, mate.
Maybe the comedy value. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see me drip acclimating my brine shrimp in the next video. Come on, guys.
That should
I run carbon in my tank, mate. So yeah.
Oh, do you run it, Ross? Yeah.
All the time. Like Jay, just a tiny amount, and I just leave it in. So I got one of those Aquaprint made me up. Throw on top of my biomedia stand. I've got a little compartment on the top for putting in anything that you want on top of there. So I've got a little bag with it's the Aquaforest activated carbon, tiny amount in there, and I change it. I think I change that every month, maybe a month and a bit, to be honest with you. But there's not a lot, to be honest. It's just a little amount.
Yeah. Practical Reefers just put a gun in there, actually, which I never thought about, just to polish the water in a softy tank too, so hardy, because of obviously the toxins and stuff. Hearing mixed thoughts on it, I suppose, you know what, I never really thought of that, actually, you know. Like I said, toxins leaching out slightly, you know, not obviously thinking, not in like killer molds, but like, you know, and I suppose it would polish it off, wouldn't it, to take out all that toxic stuff out of the water, for sure. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe I should. And then the opinionated reefer put down that I should run it, especially if I don't do water changes. Well, that definitely applies to me. So I haven't, like I said, I don't just run it. If I see my tank not looking 100%, then I just stick some in, and usually within a couple of days it seems to be good. So you know what, I might have to change my thinking and just run it all the time in it and see what it does. See whether I see any difference. I might do, I might not. You know.
I think, Steve, if you look at the clarity of your water, I mean, your tank looks really, really good, and your corals look all good. So I mean, you could run it all the time, but do you need to? I suppose you could try it, couldn't you? Do you notice a difference when you do run it?
No, that's the strange thing. You see, you don't. I mean, what do we always say? We say it all the time, don't we? Like, I look at my coral, and I see my tank every day, don't I? And I look at my coral, and I see some corals, and like say my SPS, some of my SPS, I've seen them. The one on the left hand side, and it's just like not bleaching, but it's losing its colour. It's not as colourful as it has been, And I'm like, what? And all I can put it down to is since I took my tank out. And the nutrients, I just cannot, for the love of money, I can't even. I've switched my skimmer off. My skimmer's off. I've opened the valve on my Clarity. Completely. So the Clarity is basically not working. Might as well not even be plumbed in. Do you know what I mean? I'm just letting all the water, and I'm feeding 4 cubes a day. I'm putting, I'm putting everything in it. And I tested my phosphate, my nitrates. And my nitrates are like at 2 ppm, not 1.8 and 2 ppm. They're not even going up at all. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, it's crazy. My phosphate's at 0.08, so I don't mind that, you know. That's a pretty decent one. I like to run it 0.14. That seems to be the sweet spot, but I need to raise my nitrates up. My nitrates need to go up more than what they are because they're basically starving. There's no food in it. And, you know, for my SPS, they obviously love the food. They love the higher nutrients in the system. And it's just not happening. You know what I mean? So that's why they're looking dull. As for the rest of them, like the LPS, SPS, the LPS and the softies, they're doing okay. They're thriving. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, like I said, it's just having a bit. That's the problem with a mixed reef. It's trying to get that balance between good and bad. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll hit that sweet spot. Sometimes you won't. It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? And I'm at that crossroads where I just can't. It's just not rising up for me at the moment. But I'll get through it. And see how it goes.
Steve, have you now got the gate fully open on the Clarity?
Fully open,
basically mate. Not really working. You're letting it all go into
not
the
working.
tank and see if you can drive it up that way because you're taking too much out. A combination
that's
of that
exactly what
you're taking a tank out and not replace the I suppose the dirtiness of the tank.
Well, what I did was when I noticed it a couple of weeks ago, like the difference of like nutrients coming down with nitrates, especially. And I thought to myself, well, what I'll do is I'll open the gate valve because I had it near enough shut completely, really. So I opened the gate valve again, just a quarter, and I thought I'll leave it for a week, Yeah. And I tested it a week later, and my nutrients had dropped. And I'm like, hold on a minute, how's it dropped? So then I opened it half, and it was the same. Tested it again, and it still stayed roughly about the same. So then I've opened it completely now. And with my new Red Sea skimmer that I've got in, that's like, I mean, that is my personal opinion, seems a lot better than NIOS. It just takes pure dark skim out. It didn't even need any time to break in. It just like straight away, straight on it, super quiet, perfect. It's just really, really good. I'm really happy with it. But it's taken. I don't know whether the mix of it, because remember that skimmer, the 300 is up to a 600 litre tank. Yeah. So it's for the 600. Mine's only 350. So I'm thinking, is it taking too much? Is it too good for it? Along with the clarity as well. So that's the reason why. Now I've switched it off my skimmer, and it comes on now every 2 days, as opposed to like being on 24 hours. And then I've just opened the gate valve on my clarity. So hopefully I'm going to do that for the next week or two and see whether the nutrients raise up. And if not, then I don't really know what I'm going to do, because I can't feed the tank any more than I am doing. You know what I mean? I'm feeding it 4 or 5 cubes of that stuff with the what's it called, the phytoplankton and stuff like that now. So I'm at a loss really. I don't really know.
Well, that was one thing I was going to ask. There was the comment that Nick had put there asking, what biomedia are you using, Steve, and how much? What is it that you're actually using?
The biomedia, the balls and all that. I just use the balls. I've always had the max spec bio balls and the max spec blocks. The blocks that go in between the baffles. I just use them.
Some of them out then, mate, and lower it that way.
Have you got too many in and just take a couple out and see what happens?
Believe it or not, I actually counted because I cleaned the sump, with the balls in, because Kim, she's not on it. She sent me one of those, the stands with the balls. So obviously I've got that all sorted. I've got a video coming out on that anyway, so you'll be able to see that. But I've done that, and I literally had 12 balls. 12 balls, that's all I had in my tank. You know what I mean? Yeah. Along with the two blocks, that's all I had in my tank. I thought I had more. But no, 12 balls I had in it. So I thought for a 350 litre tank, 12 balls, I didn't think that was a lot really.
Thing is,
remember, I've got a lot of rock. I've got a lot of rock in my tank. So that's the difference. Do you know what I mean? So
you'll probably find that you could actually take all those blocks out, the balls out, and your rock would be enough filtration. You don't know, mate. So I would maybe take the 2 blocks out, or take the balls out and try it like that for a while and see what your levels come to.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it all in one go, because one of those blocks, I don't know what that's the equivalent of in terms of the bio balls, but you can probably find out. But those 2 blocks probably do far more than the size of tank you've got, plus the clarity, plus the balls. Yeah. That adds up to a lot of stuff. Someone's put about the blocks are estimated to be 1,200 litres each, is what Phil's put on there. So if you think you've got 2 of those plus 12 of the bio balls, you've probably got over 2,500 litres.
God, it's worse than Ross putting a kilo in it in a nano.
I know. Who's laughing now, Steve?
Hey, you know what? I told you learn something new every day.
That might be a problem.
I mean, Nick's put add more fish. You know what, Nick? I thought about that, but you've not seen my tank and you've not seen the clownfish. Those clownfish are like savages. So if I had, I mean, the one I added, the 2 I've added a couple of weeks ago, the fox face, which I went against my better judgment, so to speak. I would never have thought of adding one in, because I know that they can pick and stuff like that. He settled in perfect. Same with the blenny, but they're only small fish, aren't they? They're not like a tang, like that brown tang that I had. It was big. It was a big tang, you know what I mean? So the waste that he was producing all the time, we all know about tangs. They just produce, they're like rhinoceroses, aren't they? In the tank, they're just forever going around, excreting and everything. So yeah, I mean, and my nitrates were always stable when that tank was in, and it's only since I've took that tank out that it seems to be dropping. And so there's no other 2 ways about it. I've not changed anything in my tank. The only thing I've done is took the tank out, and that's it. And then it dropped. So it's definitely got something to do with that tang in that tank. You know what I mean? So I thought adding 2 more fish might be it, but it's not enough bioload in it, from the fish. It's only a little tiny little fox face and a little algae blenny. So they're not producing too much waste. So, I mean, maybe over time, I might look at adding another maybe 1 or 2 fish. But at this moment, I think I've got 11 fish in my tank now. So in a 350. So I don't know really. Maybe one decent sized one. I don't know.
I've got to say 11 fish is probably not that many in a 4-foot tank, 350 litres, and they're small. I mean, it's more about the size of those fish, isn't it? And if they're all small, then actually that's not overstocked.
No,
that's what I was going to say.
It's not overstocked when you look at it.
Mog's
it's not.
Aquarium. Mog's has got like chromus that are like great whites. They're the world's biggest chromus. Check out his videos. They're huge. He hasn't got any room for any of the fish. Well,
they are big chromus, them.
They're massive.
They are big.
You're feeding them reef roids. They're huge, Steve.
They are big, mate.
The chromus,
So you definitely have room. It's definitely have room. It's just a case of, do you want to upset the 11 fish by putting another fish in with territories and stuff like that? That's always the risk, isn't it? That you can go for.
Exactly.
Going back to that carbon thing, which I think I got cut off on. Why wouldn't you run carbon when it's naturally in the? Like I've always said, if it's naturally in the sea, I'll put it in my tank. So like bacteria, obviously, phytoplankton, fresh live foods, carbon. There's more carbon in the sea than anywhere else. So it's it's good. It's a good thing to have it in a reef.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Why would
some people do, like yourself.
In nature, put it in yours.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, it's all people's takes on it, and it's what we read. And Nick said it before, hasn't he, in the past? Yeah, it's what we read, and we just hear from people from forums and stuff. Oh, run it here, and you only run it there, and blah blah blah. So, and I think it's just like for me, it was just about experimenting. Seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. You know what I mean? And I've learned some of it even in this little stream today. Like from the opinionated reefer saying like you should run it all the time, basically. If you don't do water changes. I never thought of that, of running it, but maybe I could do it. Maybe I might do that. You know what I mean? But it's so in this hobby, we're always learning. We're always trialing things out, aren't we? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
If it's in nature, get it in your tank.
That's the opinionated reefers put. He's got a nasal tank, a yellow tank, and about 14 small fish. Yeah, so. Mine's well understocked because I've got mine are all small fish really. I've got 2 clownfish, a yellow tang, and they're the yellow tang really is the largest fish now in a tank. When I look at it like that, it was the brown tang, but now obviously the yellow tang is probably the largest. And other than the chromus as well, the chromus are fairly big. So,
great white
but other than that, the rest of them are all small, aren't they? Mandarin. I've got the little blenny. I've got the little fox face. So so maybe there's not enough bioload in it. I don't know. Let's see what's.
I want to know how the Harlequin's getting on, Steve. Update me on the Harlequin. How's it getting with the starfish?
Oh, he's loving him, mate. Yeah, he's a nocturnal hunter. Oh yeah, I love it. I filmed him actually at night time. It tends to come out in the evening. They're very elusive, aren't they? They're very secretive. Yeah. I love watching them. And stuff like that. So I tend to just stick the light on a little torch and I just shine it, and you see him picking them off all the asterinas, because the asterinas seem to know, I think, that he's on the hunt. You know what I mean? Because they all climb on the glass. You know what I mean? Right. So when they're on the glass, they're more difficult for him to get to. Do you know what I mean? But every time I see him, he's got something in his mouth, mate. But they are fantastic creatures. They fascinate me. The way they do it. They hunt. They're just stealthy. They are doing well, and he's alive, really, so that's the main thing. He's doing his job for sure. What
happens when he's eating them all? Or
you've got to take him out.
You've got to move him on.
You've got to move him on.
They won't eat anything other than that. I mean, they're beautiful fish. It's just a shame that that's all they eat. So they are superb to watch and look at, and I think they're quite majestic in the way they move around, but they're totally lethal in the way they just carve
it up,
starfish.
Yeah, the fantastic. If you ever unfortunate enough to get them in your tank, then I think that's the only way to get rid of them. He's shove one or two of them in your tank, and you're good to go. You know what I mean?
The thing that I'll be looking forward to seeing the video of Steve trying to catch it to get it out once it's finished all this stuff.
Yeah, that's
easy.
They're fairly easy because they're not they're not as fast as you think. The only problem is like I said, they come out in the evening, so it's more difficult. You know, during the day they're in the rockscape, and he's found a little gap near where the euphyllias are. So that's his little home. I've seen him in it, so I know where he is. But obviously, I'm not going to take out the rock for sure. You know what I mean? But I will. I'll have to wait until in the evening and then take him out. You know what I mean? But yeah, they are fascinating creatures for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So Steve,
I'm dreaming big.
So Steve, would you buy a starfish to keep it alive?
No, I don't agree with that. Now, I'd like to know people's opinions on this because I don't. I know people say they feed them the starfish because they take the legs off, don't they, and all that. Yeah, for me, that's not a starfish is a creature in it. It's an animal. It's just not right. It's like throwing us in a lion's cage and letting bloody lion eat you and all that. No, that's not right, mate. I just don't agree with that, and I don't. Nobody can tell me otherwise on that. You know what I mean? You don't feed. You don't feed and give something to keep it alive, mate. Hey?
I don't understand the difference. You've put him in there purposefully to kill starfish.
Yeah,
you say that you love.
Oh, started saying here, and I.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but listen, yeah, it's a pest, isn't it? Yeah, and Astarina is a pest. Yeah, and Astarina is a pest, just like Monty Porter eating nudibranchs. Yeah, they're a pest. They wipe your whole tank out. That's the difference. Yeah, whereas once that pest has been eradicated, then you can move on. You can get it and you move on. I'm not going to then, once it's been eradicated, say, oh, you know what, I feel sorry for it because it's got no food source. So I'll tell you what, I'll go out and I'll buy, you know, a blue starfish or a red starfish and throw it in just to feed it. It's just, I don't agree. I don't believe in that.
Do you live feed your
Pardon?
fish? Do you live feed your fish?
I give him mysis. I give him mysis shrimp.
Do you not like mysis aren't pests?
No, but they're dead. They're frozen. They've been in the freezer. The freezer's minus 18 here, Jay. So I think they're well and truly grounded there.
Well, I don't. Mate, it's a bit grey. Your theory there. It's a bit grey.
No, it's not. It's not. If you think of it logically, mate, think of it. To add something that you've just bought to purposely keep something alive, that's not right. I don't purposely go to the shop and say, "Can you give me a bag full of Astarina starfish?" Yeah, just so I can tip them in my tank. I don't say that, do I? You know what I mean? They just come in on a fragment or so, and then they populate. Do you know what I mean? So it's a pest.
Comment there. Look, the poor copepods that you're pouring in all the time. What about them guys?
But they're frozen.
They're frozen.
No, alive one.
Mine alive today. Mine were all moving around.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you could do what Phil says there, and you could get a starfish and just chop a leg off it every now and then and feed it a leg, so that way it's still alive.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so you can.
Now, Paul's coming out with some. Paul's coming out with some.
What's this?
I don't even know what that says. Encodermata. What the hell is that? Are not classed as pests. Are not illegal to use. Paul, you'll have to elaborate on that because I don't have a clue what you're talking about, mate. Is that like
some Latin?
Is that the starfish name for it?
I'm assuming that's the starfish, so it's not classed as a pet.
Yeah.
And
is that the Latin name for it?
To use for feeding feed.
Hey, aka starfish, yeah. So it's the Latin name for it, I'm assuming, yeah. Right. Well. What? So are not classed as pets and not illegal to use for feed. Oh, I'm not saying that they're not illegal to use for feeding. Absolutely, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I wouldn't use it to feed something. That's what I'm saying. I'm not, you know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not illegal to use, but I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't purposely grab one, buy one with my own money and just to drop it in for it to be eaten. That's just not, I'm not going to do that.
What about if it's Jay's money?
I'll do it, and then it's Jay's because he's a Yorkshireman, so we will do that.
Jamie's got a good comment there, mate.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, we are, mate. We are.
Steve, Jamie's comment. That's a good one.
Which one's that, mate?
Jamie Q's comment.
No one could understand your philosophy of thinking.
Simple, I know.
Well, it is the circle of life. That is exactly.
It is the circle of life. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Happens in the wild, Steve. Jesus.
What have you said here now, Paul? You know what I mean? You've started a debate on top of a debate.
It's going to be another ban. It's going to be banned along with a certain water, and a certain alkalinity, and now we've got a certain starfish.
You've just said you wouldn't feed the Harlequin shrimp starfish, but then you've put one in your tank knowing that it's going to eat starfish. I don't get it. That's what I don't get. Baffled me.
Right, moving on.
Not starfish. It's not starfish though. It's Asterina, mate. They're evil. Hold on a minute. Listen,
it's an evil starfish.
If you had a pest, if you had certain starfish, Jay, in your tank, and they decided to go and munch on your euphilia garden, what would you do?
Yeah.
And the only option
I'd
was
take
to
the
drop
starfish out and take them back to the shop.
No, I know what Jay would do. Jay would call a crisis meeting. He would dip it everything possible. He would have us all there for it. It would be all panic stations. Yeah. The tank could be getting ripped to bits. Then you would have a pest nursery for the pest.
It'd be in the hotel, wouldn't it?
Space.
I'd get the bedroom out from all, put them in there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Phil's put down. I watched that actually. I actually watched that one on Inappropriate Leaf where he fed damsels to his old frogfish. Wow. Don't think they got any sympathy. Yeah, that's it, mate. I mean, listen, I know it's a circle of life, like thing you said, and you know everything eats something. We all eat something, don't we? You know what I mean? That's been alive and things, but that's just me. Yeah, I look at Asterinas as pests, and that's what I look at it at. And if I can get someone to clean my tank up from the pests, then I will do. That's what the Harlequin strip. But once he's done with his job and he's let him all, he's off to the shop, mate. He's going to a new house. Hopefully not Jay's. You know what I mean?
I don't want him here, mate. He's a killer.
Hey, he's not going to your house, Jay. He's not going to your house, mate.
I don't put kills in my tank. That's you, mate. You keep him in yours.
Speaking of that, Jay, how's your
tank's too small to get it.
Yeah, just be
Jay,
going
how's
like
the Sharpie lids doing?
Oh dear,
the Sharpie.
How's the Sharpie?
Or Larry?
You know what? He's absolutely grand. I love him. He's an amazing fish. Nice. Full of character. He had the live brine shrimp tonight, and he just went mad for those, and the live copepods because they were moving.
Murderer.
Steve, don't judge me, please. But, the live copepods were going. He was just like pecking at them. He's absolutely brilliant. The only thing is, he probably needs a larger tank because I said this is what I said last week. You have to feed him quite a lot. Because he's absolutely useless at catching food. But then obviously the phosphates and the nitrates end up going up. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be without him. Super colourful, super healthy. In fact, my Instagram picture, I think my last one that I did was him. And I came home, you know, like a dog greets you.
Oh no! Oh no!
I put live copepods in when the fish are at that when it starts. Then I don't feel bad when they're stupid and they get out and eat.
Me and Adam would get on really well. I reckon that's a good tip. That is, put them in the pack. They all get to reproduce.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
so for sure.
When I came in from work,
tank.
He was sat there like with his big eyes because they've got big eyes, haven't they, at the top. Looking up.
His wee tail wagging, all excited to see you.
Yeah. It bends round though. I don't know why it bends round. Like,
maybe just got a wee hook to it.
He's like a hook shape all the time. Well, not all the time, but some of the time. But yeah, he was looking up. He was ready for his food. People say fish don't care.
So is the firefish put out now because you don't go after the firefish anymore?
What's that? What's the firefish?
I didn't say the firefish is ignored now. You got a new pet.
Yeah, well, I've got my clowns, haven't I? I've got my goby and my blenny, and then that one. I've always wanted a jawfish, but you know, one I haven't got room now, and two they like colder temperatures and they're really hard to keep, so I kind of kept away. What's he got in his fridge? Let's all have a look.
I don't know what he's doing. Is he putting the shopping? He's getting a drink.
He's got some Pyrenees there.
A live stream from the fridge, mate, if you want.
Well, what's he going for now?
Cocktail.
No, one minute.
I don't know what that is,
What's he got? Oh, still.
What is that?
What is it?
AU vodka.
That's silver. Is AU silver and on the?
It's gold, mate. It's a gold bottle. Gold bottle. It is AU
gold.
vodka.
Yeah, that's gold then.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Beautiful. This one is the cherry flavour, red cherry.
Wow.
Beautiful. Really, really nice.
Remember my periodic table then, because AU, I thought, yeah, it's obviously gold.
Come on, Jay.
Obviously, it's obviously gold for AU. We all knew that, Jay.
Well, I know what carbon is, C. You don't. That's C.
Jay, are you one of these guys that's got the periodic table of elements up on your wall?
Sorry, what's
it's behind the door.
Yeah, you one of these guys that's got the periodic table up on your wall in the room?
Secretly, I quite like the periodic table. I don't know why. I can't remember them all though, but it's quite interesting, isn't it? Especially in this, obviously. Well, look here, look. This is like. So I've got me triton.
Cheers, guys.
Oh.
Cheers, Steve.
Yeah.
There you go. So tonight's quiz. You ready for tonight's quiz?
Can't wait.
Call yourself a reefer? Can you name all them?
No.
There you go. It's the periodic table.
I
know that AU is gold.
AU, yeah, it's gold. AU's not.
I know the ones that I used, like the kalium and the boron and the cobalt and stuff like that. I think is coal thing. Yeah, I know that. That's about it, mate. Yeah.
This one's a bit easier. I bought the other one. You know, I got the other one from thing, didn't I? You know, I went to Cracknam.
Mm.
The new one. Well, it's new to me because I've never used this one. But
when are you sending these off? When are you doing them, Jay?
Probably in the holidays because I'm on holiday now, Steve.
Yes. Yeah, so my mate.
Yeah.
I'm only off for 6 days. I've got 6 days off, so that's it. Just
nice.
Spending a bit of time with the family.
This is half-term holidays, I think this is.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep you company, Steve. I'm going to open some whiskey and have some to buy you, mate. So,
what are you on? What are you on there, Ross?
Tonight's one is Highland Park Dragon Legend.
Dragon Legend.
A bit different.
Highland Park.
That's a really nice one. This, to be fair, I quite like this one.
Yeah.
Dragon Legend.
Whiskey. Oh, nice. You know what? I do like a nice tipple of whiskey, but sends me mad after a few dozen. That is.
That does it really?
We hadn't noticed, Steve, when you had a few too many.
Sends me mad, mate. Sends me crazy, really. Yeah.
He ends up dancing with like objects.
Yeah, I tend to stay off him. Yeah.
So Jay, with the Triton, I've just got mine back. It took 2 weeks to actually get them to do it. I chased it up, and I think they've got problems with the Triton machine in the States, so they're upgrading it. So I think they're sending all the US ones to UK and Germany, and the demand. So I've been using them for years, and that's the first time it's taken more than 2 working days after they've uploaded it to get the result. So I emailed Vince to find out what's going on, and he said there was just a backlog of them. So if you do send it off early this week, I suspect, unless you're lucky or they've cleared the backlog, it'll take a while to get them done.
Thank you, Paul. I didn't know that because, like you say, my first lot I sent off, it was on my computer within 2 days. The results were. So,
So I found in mine is I got a little short of iodine and some others, but I run a refusion, which does strip out some of the minor elements. So I need to start dosing iodine and some of the others, I think strontium and a couple of others. I can't remember the others that were showing as low, which that was one of the reasons why I did it, just because I wondered whether because the first time I've used a refugium, whether it would start stripping those elements out, because I'd heard it does deplete some of them. The Cheeto feeds from it, so that's the case. So I just need to now dial it in. I've got some of the Red Sea colours, so I think I'm going to dose that. So I've used that before, and it's worked pretty well in terms of getting the minor elements back up to where they need to be.
I used the Red Sea iodine. After my first Triton, it was low.
Yeah.
So now I dose Red Sea iodine, and I don't know if it's made a difference.
I seen a guy and I was selling it in Kraken Corals the other week when I went up and I picked the nitrate. Hey, everybody, I finally got my nitrate pack. So you don't know. I finally got a big shout out to Don from Kraken Corals because he hit me up with them. So that was it was
great. Break into your house tonight now. Someone's going to break into your house tonight.
leave everything in the tank. We'll just take those nitrate tests. Yeah.
So like the Securico vans delivered them, don't they?
You what, mate? Say that again.
Securico vans. with the hat guy and the shield.
Hey,
They're more valuable than money, so they've been delivered in that now.
Mate, you know what? They were like. I'm not even going to say what they were like. It's like gold. One day you couldn't get them for the love of money. You know what I mean? But I mean, Ross got he got 2 packs, didn't he, Ross? So he was fortunate.
There you go.
Special. I've got him now, mate. I'm all right, mate. Now you're all right.
Let me just double check actually, because I don't know how many I've got left in here.
I bet you'll use it. I bet you're using them all the time, aren't you?
I've not got many left in there, mate.
He's got like the national supply, look.
Nah, there's not enough in there. Sorry, I can't share them with you
tonight. Look at that.
Yeah, Ross has got the national supply.
I know.
But I seen a guy in there, and he was telling me, and I was telling him, I was talking to him, and I was like, and it was like the thing, and I said to him, I just cannot keep, like Goniapora. I can keep most things in the tank, touch wood, yeah. And I'm like, but Goniapora I just could not keep. And he was like, his secret to dosing it, is to dose like iodine, into his tank, and the iron, only little traces of it every week, like every week, and then feed phytoplankton, but directly feed it straight to him, And he says, and you'll see him, and you'll survive. Look, well, I thought, you know what, I'll take that back. So I already had someone. I've been doing it, all the time, and I touch wood. That Goniapora that I bought when we went to the Cracknot has never looked any better, mate. It looks fantastic. I thought so. That must have been my mistake. I mustn't have been. It mustn't have had enough stuff in the old tank. So I'm really happy. So whoever you were, if you are watching, massive shout out, because I didn't know that, and it survived in the tank, so it's great. You know what I mean? So I might even get a pink one now. I might even be on the lookout for a pink Goniapora. So.
Can you stop touching wood whilst we're on this webcam, because I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable?
Can you what?
You've touched your wood twice in the last 2 minutes. You
must have a better camera angle than us, mate.
What is this touching wood all the time?
Oh dear.
What
can I say, Jay?
Sorry, mate. That had to be done.
So Jay,
I'm not going to touch wood. I'm not going to touch wood again now, mate. That's it. I'm going to leave it. Leave it out.
No one can't see your hands.
Jez hands.
That's better. I've got I've got that Blossom one, haven't I, from Signature Frag?
Yeah.
And that's doing really well, but I dose iodine in there, but that seems to be doing okay. But there was a nice pink one at Kraken Corals, wasn't there?
That was really nice, that one, actually. I liked that one.
Good.
Yeah, so the pink one I got for the floating aquascape, that's still going. Okay, it's retracted a little bit, so I wonder if that's because of the iron as well on that, because that was a little bit lower, or the iron or iodine. So I probably need to dose both tanks. I've just seen some comments on there that sounds like the Triton issue they had in the US is sorted now. So you might be all right, Jay. You may not have to wait so long, because, as I say before, I've had really top drawer service and got it uploaded in 48 hours of them getting it.
Yeah, because when I was at Kraken, they were saying, well, why don't you have the Reef's Elements one, which apparently is really good, I've heard. But because I'm already registered with Triton and I've got a little bit of a history there, it logs your history, doesn't it?
Yeah, so on the app, you can compare, can't you?
Yeah, what is this? What is this thing that Nick's talking about? Like the Reef Geeks will be buying the Hannah Iris. What is that? And then he put down about £2,500. What is it?
It's like one of those big spectrometer type machines, I think, that does all your tests in one machine.
Oh, right.
I think that's what it is, mate.
Oh, is that what it is?
I could be wrong with that one, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
it sounds like it was in the thread as we was talking about it. So it sounds like it's something like that. But I wonder, how much the reagents and that cost. That's 2.5. Maybe not much.
I don't know.
I do not feed. I do not feed the Goniapora, mate. No, I don't. No.
Oh,
I haven't. I don't even think I've ever seen it. I don't even. Has anybody seen that Goniapora?
I know that Garrett, Algae Warrior, feeds it. He's commented saying he does use it, and I remember seeing it in the stream when he was on, saying that he fed that. So I don't think I've seen it for sale run about here, to be honest.
No, I haven't seen it. Then again, though, you know what? I've not had Goniaporas for a while, so I've not really looked for it. It's not like I've needed to look for it, is it? But You know what? I'll keep an eye out for that for sure, because if that works, then I'm willing to try anything. And if it raises my nutrients up in my tank, that'll be even better. So yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Even if fish chips.
Fish no chips.
So just
one
chips,
thing. Or fish and chips. Yes.
So Steve, just one thing. Yeah, I was just going to, because last week I touched upon Cade a little bit in terms of the tanks, and I know Nick's on today.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and we was talking about, I saw a video on Facebook, and I said we was talking about could you fit a Clarice in that, and it didn't look like it did from the video, but Nick reached out and exchanged message with him that you can actually have the sump.
Yes.
I don't know if it's changed, like it comes in a version or standard where you can fit a Clarice or an X filter, because I know Gal's a lover of the X filter on that. So that's good. The fact that you can do away with the filter socks and have that instead, because we was talking about the fact certainly we wouldn't have a tank without it.
Yeah, I think it's like a section you can lift out that holds the filter socks from what you said.
It's the compartment. Yeah, it's where the filter socks go. So he says that you can lift them up, take that out, and you can actually plumb one directly straight into it, which is fantastic. You know, that's
that flexibility, because not everyone wants one or the other. To have that flexibility in the tank, there's
for sure,
as we said before, there isn't many tanks where you can have that flexibility unless you go custom, of course.
Yeah. Julie's put down. She can't wait to put new coral in her tank. Yeah, she's got it all up and get it all up and running and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. That'll be great when you do that. It's fantastic when you get a new tank and you set it up and it's cycled, and then you're like so excited to just get coral in your tank. And for me, it was like I just wanted first. I wanted coral, obviously, but then it was more about getting a pair of clownfish in the tank, you know what I mean? And when I first started, I was like, I can't. And then when they were swimming, it was great. And then it was like a little tiny piece of this and a little tiny piece of that, little candy cane. And it was like, there's nothing better than when you first start up a really good, brand solid new system, and then you put your first new corals in it. It's great. It is really, really good. But we are impatient, aren't we? That's the That's
and also you get those fights, didn't you? Because on my first tank, I had clownfish that was really small, and then one disappeared, and it had gone down the weir. And I had to fish it out the weir. It was in the back chamber, then you kind of had to get it out, and then I had to end up putting some netting across the front, and then the netting gets clogged up just so it would stop it going into the in the back chamber of the tank.
Cookies Reef put, Steve Paul, how do you clean inside the sump cabinet? Water spots, etc. Can't get anything to clean it. Paul?
The sump cabinet, I use the same stuff that I use on the glass, which is Fritz. I tell you what, that was great teamwork there. So I use that. I use that on the cabinet as well as the glass.
That stuff is probably the best glass cleaner I've ever used in my life.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
It's fantastic, and it's so easy to use.
Yeah,
it is. So, I agree there.
Get some of that.
I think everybody should have some of that glass cleaner. I've got
and
it.
Then what I've discovered quite recently is a wet dry cleaner from Wix I use on the sump, and it takes all of the crap out of the sump. Brilliant. It's only about 40 quid.
You'll have to show us that on a video, Paul. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. It's just, I have actually done that when I cleaned out the sump on the tank in the garage. It takes the crap out in seconds, and it can take out 20 litres really, really quick. So,
just like a shop vac, I take it, Paul, a wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's not that expensive, like 40 quid. So if you want to do a water change and you do it at sump, just whack that on and you're sorted. It'll just take all of the detritus out. Because whereas before I was using a hose and you're manually pumping it out, this in seconds will take 20 litres out. It's brilliant. But I have filmed it, Jay, and then your sump is spotless.
Yeah. You also get, I think it's VCA, make a little adapter you can get for a pump, and it's like a little Hoover attachment.
I done a video on it. I bought one, didn't I?
I did a video on it.
And that's all I use for my, just basically cleaning up the sump, you know, look where I get a bit of detritus and stuff. But with me having the Clarice and stuff like that on it and things like that, I don't really tend to get tons in there, if I'm truth be told. You know what I mean? I do get a little bit, but whereas I was cleaning it before that, I was cleaning it maybe every 3 months or so. I can leave it now 6 months and I can just like touch it up and just just give it a bit of a clean. But that's all I tend to do. But I know one of my friends, he was having problems with the hinges. You know, the hinges on his doors, they were rusting all the time. You know, on his cabinet. And I said, have you not put your feet? And I put, and a guy told me this, and he said to me, put Vaseline, you know, on the doors, just a normal baby Vaseline, and smeared it completely all on it. And I did it, I'm not going to say touch wood because I'm not going to say it.
Vaseline and touch wood.
I'm not going to say it. Yeah.
Talking about Vaseline as well, for God's sake. Family reefing channel. Family reefing channel.
Steve, the other brands of lubricant work just as well.
Vaseline.
Yeah. I know, you know what? I never thought of that. Yeah, Vaseline and touch wood is not a good thing to go. But no, I put the I put it on the smeared it on the block on the hinges, and it's perfect. There's no rust or anything, none whatsoever.
Yeah, it's apparently really good, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've heard that as well. Hey, is Coral-tastic still on, Paul? I've not heard much about it recently.
I haven't heard anything. I exchanged emails with the guy. He was going to Telford, whenever Telford was, to speak to some vendors there, but I haven't seen or heard anything to say, you know, this is what I've got or what the event's doing. I haven't looked, to be fair, but I haven't seen any postings. It's quite quiet at the moment on what's happening.
Heard much about it.
Yeah.
I heard much about it. Nick, have you got a website for these Cade tanks then that we can look at and the prices and things? And he's a supplier, I think.
Yeah.
A UK supplier.
There's the UK distributor.
Are they actually here in stock at the moment?
So I think there's a container of them here already because you had some at the show from what he said, but I don't know if there's, I don't think, so to my knowledge, I don't think you can buy direct from them. You have to go to
an LFS,
your local store like Kraken or whatever, and get them to order it for you. I don't think you can buy direct.
I think Nick's selling them, I think, by the sounds of it. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a couple.
So
there's a couple comments there around Nick had an invite to Coral-tastic, JB Aquatics. I'm going to Coral-tastic.
Yeah, I want to go. We got an invite. So it looks like it's still on. It's gone quiet for a couple of weeks, so that's good. It'd be nice to go there. I think that's probably going to be the last one of the year, isn't it, Mark? So
I'd say so.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Is that the one that you're wearing the suit for, Jay, or is it a different one?
I might do. Might dress up for it. No, I'll be having that, that Marine Tubers t-shirt that we made. Probably have that on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Unless you're going to make me another one, I don't know. Could make another one for that one.
I'm in the process of making another one just now. It's not finished yet, but it's there's another one going on the website very soon.
Watch your space, eh?
Get a preview.
I don't know. Well, preview's not finished yet, but I'll tell you what it is. It basically just says "nice rack" and it's got a picture of a frag rack on it.
I'm assuming that Black Hills Reef's talking about when Paul says when he pumps his water out and he said he gets wet liters.
It's my fish laying at the bottom in a desert of sand.
And his little blenny like that.
Seconds. Switch it on. Where's the water gone now? Where am I going? Jesus.
Oh, God.
Let's get that put back in quickly. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, God, yeah.
Some good ones.
It's funny. And just trying to look for some. So I know I'm off the subject.
So Nick looks like he's going to be at Coral-tastic with Cade tanks. That could be good.
Gary Chapman. Guys, I know I'm off the subject, but the best sump pump, I'm assuming, for the Reefer 250 or a 250 Reefer, whichever one it is. Anybody want to take on that? I mean, this is a subject where it goes with either you can go with the best stuff or the average stuff. Well, what's deemed to be average, you know what I mean? I've said it before in the past. I've had my J-Bow DC 4000 from the very start in my 170. So what we're looking for a little over 3 years, 3.5 years, 3.25 years or something, and it's just run a treat. It's never done. It's just run like a workhorse. And I think I paid 69 quid for it. You know what I mean? And it's never failed to to impress me. It's always done, and it's in with 350. Same again, perfect. You know what I mean? So, and that costs 69 quid. Now you can go for, you know, maybe a Vortex. You know, the Vortex one. Is it S1 or is it? Or S1 is it?
So I think it depends how much you want to spend. So in the 170, I've got a basic Eheim pump that I've had running since the 170 was set up, and that was about 4 years ago. It's not controllable. It's just on. And the only time I ever switch it off is when I'm doing a water change, and that's it. Yeah, and the tank next to it, I've got an S2, which as you know, I had 18 months. I cleaned the sump and then it didn't work, but I then sent it back to the guys, the Ecotech guys in the UK. Within 6 days, I'd returned it to them. They repaired it, sent it back, and I was fine. I didn't have a problem, as you know, because I put the heater into the display and just run it as a display with no sump for that period of time. So I would recommend that on the basis that if you have a problem, they sort it out for me, and it was really, really good. And then I've had an M2 as well that I had a problem with, as you know, but that was the power brick that failed because of a power surge on that. And that's been running for 5 years. So return pump, I'd go Ecotech, but then the Eheim one is like, I don't know how much I paid for that, 50 quid. And I've had it for that years, but it's not controllable at all. Yeah, it's Eheim pumps I always find have been really good. But I usually use them as kind of the small pumps that pump out water for water changes and stuff like that. So, I
mean, there's a lot of. I'm just reading a lot of the things, and people are saying comments, and people are saying, like Paul's putting the S2, Vector S2, Seache, you know, J-Bow. So there's a lot of mixed opinions, really. But like I said, I suppose it goes on your budget. You know, what you know, like Paul said, whether you've had the certain products. I mean, for me, it's like when mine knackers up. You know, am I going to go for, like I said, I would probably go for, like you said, and maybe an S1 or an M2, whatever. Yeah, because I was going to put like a manifold on mine, do something different and run the things off because of all the cables and stuff. And I thought, well, I was going to do it that way. And then obviously I'd need an M2, but then I think, would I change it? Why not just go for the J-Bow, which I've already got, you know, something that I know, something that seems to work for me. You know what I mean? It seems to run a dream. Do you know what I mean? But am I lucky, or is it at a good quality? You know what I mean? So, like you said, I think it's entirely down to the person and the individual, and how much money they've got to spend. But I think you can't go wrong with any of them, to be truthful. If the truth be told. Yeah,
I think the one I like about the Vectra, as Paul's put on there from RCW, is that you can put it on feedback. You can reduce it to a trickle, which is what I usually do. The thing is, I was cleaning out the whole sump, so I didn't really have much of a choice other than to turn it off. But I think the failure points on those pumps, and I don't know if it's all brands, is when you turn them off and then you have to turn them back on. That's potentially a failure point, as opposed to you're reducing it right down to the minimum, and you probably got less of a failure point on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like JB Aquatics put Seache all day, and then he's also put you can't beat a 5-year warranty. It's true that not many companies give you a 5-year warranty on a pumps. You know. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, the most I think is what, 2 years? Is it? I think Vectra is 2 years, I believe, and I'm sure J-Bow's 2 years as well. If I'm perfectly honest. 5 years. Anything goes wrong, send it off to them. If you can't repair it, I'm assuming they'll send you a brand new one. So I don't think you can complain about that. Yeah. Nick's put, he still has his old Eheim Professional. He's had it 20 years. Wow. Well, that's a good buy then, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's be honest. You can't fault that one. That's
but then if you look at that, Reef Community Worldwide said, but it's been turned off for that length of time.
Very good. That is good.
It's a bit like my first tank. It's 7 years old, but it's been empty for 6 years and it's in the shed.
Yeah. Oh, it's his backup pump. So, but it probably has been turned off for 20 years. You know, come on.
Has it been out the box if it's a backup pump?
Blackpool. Jay runs a battery-powered pump on his tank.
Mine's running on them little button batteries you can get. 2 of them button batteries. That does the radian, and that's all it's got. So we're all right. We're on to a winner.
Your tank actually looks very dark tonight, Jay. I take it you're hiding something for a big reveal on Sunday, are you?
I've got a genuine problem, which is my
Only
Mobius.
one?
Yeah. So my phone will not connect at the moment to the Mobius app, and I don't know what's up with it.
Oh.
So I'm on my Mobius, look, and it just swerves
It might
around.
be your Wi-Fi, Jay, because it keeps cutting out.
Yeah. It might be.
Your Wi-Fi was pretty poor earlier. I don't know if it's the same now.
Yeah. Might have tripped it.
This is... it might be Wi-Fi. Yeah,
does it connect by Wi-Fi or is it Bluetooth?
Yeah. Wi-Fi.
Is it Wi-Fi? Okay. In which case it could be that.
Jay, if you put it near the window, mate, it'll work a bit better.
Put your phone out the window and hold it up.
You just want me to do that to look stupid now.
No, when you struggle to get signal, if you put your phone next to the window, it works. That's how you get better signal.
No, it doesn't, Ross. The Wi-Fi is in the house.
No, but you'll be using someone else's that might be better.
Look, I can't change it. Look, it just keeps whirring. So so well spotted, Ross. But that's why I can't change my setting. Sorry,
Paul from Reef Community Worldwide put Fish Palace is failed when his was turned off as well.
That's the same as
so
mine.
It might, same as yours. So yeah, maybe there was a fault with him. Strange. They shouldn't fail when they switched off though, should they? Surely.
No.
No.
It's probably the first time I switched it off in 18 months, to be fair.
Yeah, Royal Exclusive for 10-year warranty. Yeah, but what do you pay for a skimmer or something from Royal Exclusive or a pump? About $4,000 or something, $5,000. Should be a 10-year warranty with them, shouldn't it? Come on, let's be honest.
I've got to say, the people that have had the skimmers, the Royal Exclusive, they swear blind them and they say they wouldn't have a different skimmer because they're dead. I mean, you expect for the price, don't get me wrong, but they're dead silent. They're brilliant, the controllability and everything else. So
I'm sure. It's the Rolls Royce, mate. They're the Rolls Royce of the aquarium hobby, aren't they? The Royal Exclusives. You know what I mean? They make the sumps, don't they? And all. I've seen the sumps that they make.
They look superb. The roller filters on them.
Yeah, they're about $5-10 grand or something for a sump. It's just it's like insane, mate. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I won the lottery, I'd probably have one. But God, when I look at it, a glass sump does exactly the same as what that sump does, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just, you know, I suppose it goes to how much you can afford and how much you want to pay in it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can pick up, I think, some real bargains. Again, an Ultimate Reef where someone's selling a Royal Exclusive skimmer, and you can get them for less than 50% of the new price, and you get some really decent ones on there.
Jesus, I get hammered for my little Red Sea Max now. I tell you what.
Yeah,
well, imagine having a tank that small, Jay. Who would do that?
Yeah.
Small. You know what they say, Ross? Small tank, small.
Mobius is getting an update, so it's down. I don't know whether that's serious or whether it's taking the mic. Is it down?
Yeah. I'll reply to you on that one, Jay, and say, you've met me in person. I don't think you'll realise there's anything small going on here.
Well, you're all about 6'5", aren't you, all of you?
Not quite, but I get your point. It was a bit of a surprise to you, weren't it, Jay?
Mobius is down. Right. Okay.
Mobius is down.
Thanks, guys. Hey, that's good. That's why we do these live streams so everybody can help.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and get into Mobius as well. It's just worrying.
Yeah. So I couldn't change my settings.
Yeah, Nick's he's a Royal Exclusive dealer, and it's lovely. Gear. I'm sure it is. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen any of that gear. I'd love to see it. You know, see the quality of it, and see what they're like in that for sure. Definitely.
He's got a load of gear, hasn't he, Nick? Where does he live?
Yeah.
There you go, Jay. There's one from JB there about unplugging your lights and plugging them back in for an update.
Yeah,
it's just that updates.
I had to do that a couple of days ago as well. I think this Mobius app has had a few problems in the last week, I'd say. I don't know if everybody else has. If they have, then that's reassuring. So that means it's not just my tank.
Yeah. I like the ones from ours.
Did you say yours, Paul, wouldn't connect?
He's done exactly just whirring around. And then I get saying, do you want to do a survey about this app?
Do you want to do a survey? Yeah. We want a new app that works.
Woody said he's just sold his Royal Exclusive sump. Wow. Wow.
Steve, there's a comment from NB Reefing there that's quite a good one you need to put on.
Oh, yeah, here we go, Ross. I bet it's back my tank again. You want to
Oh, dear.
Cheers, NB Reefing. Appreciate it.
Oh,
I tried to help him out with his hammer as well. Bloody, he's just stitched up. Cheers, mate. You better not still have that picture, Ross. Hope you've burnt that picture now.
I don't know. Do you have it?
he got it printed. It's on his cabinet in there now.
What picture do you mean, Jay? Do you mean that picture of
it? I'm going to start swearing in a minute.
Oh God!
It's my screensaver on my phone.
Oh, you're a dick. That's what you are. I said it. Do you want me to swear in on the live stream? Sorry.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Come on.
I love it.
Kids. Yes. Let's see.
But
If I won the lotto,
I can't put up with that sort of banter. That's my wife, for God's sake. Hey dear. Right, let's go back to reefing. What's happening?
I've got to say on the previous comment around if you won the lotto by a Royal Exclusive, was it a Royal Exclusive Dreambox?
Dreambox.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? What's that? A Dreambox? I take it. Is that a tank? Is it a tank or something? What is it? I don't know what it is.
Sump. So you can get a designed dream.
Right.
Royal Exclusive Dreambox. They're the sumps, and you can get it all designed and all the done, and you can have the roller filter on it and everything else. It's basically a pimped up sump.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So I
get that, right? But it's doing exactly the same job as a standard glass sump that you would get from anywhere else.
Exactly.
So I don't understand the benefit in that other than it looks a bit tarty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
that's the idea. That's the idea, isn't it? But you know what, though? Whether it's a dream box or whether it's a glass box or whether it's an acrylic box, it's still going to get detritus and it's still going to get vermites, snails. It's still going to get everything all in it. You know what I mean? Regardless of what box it is. Do you know what I mean? And it's the truth. It's what, but it is one of those things. When you open your cabinet, rather than seeing a glass box, you see one of our lens set there. I can see the logic for sure.
It's the kind of thing you put in a fish room and it's just sitting there. And it's raised up as well. It's not in its own cabinet because you can make, you can get them designed so they could be like 3 foot long or 6 foot long.
Woody's cupboard is kitted out better than the top 10%.
Or these spares.
You know what?
I'd like to see it. He's on Instagram.
I know I would. And yet he lives in what? The Isle of Man or something. He lives in the Isle of Man, don't he?
Yeah.
Who?
You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
It's got Woody.
No, he lives. I thought it was Isle of Dogs.
I don't know.
I thought it was Canary Wharf away. Woody, I'm sure Woody lives. Canary Wharf, which is Isle of Dogs.
Oh, is it Canary Wharf?
If he's on the proper Canary Wharf, which is the Isle of Dogs. Yeah.
Oh, the Isle of Dogs.
Where I've been today, but there you go.
Oh, right. Woody lives in London. Oh, right.
Is that an actual real name of the place, Isle of Dogs?
Yeah.
Or is that a nickname?
So it's Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, Canary Wharf,
and it's now Canary Wharf, So it's an island, and there's only 2 ways on and off of it.
You see it on EastEnders, Ross. At the start.
Don't watch EastEnders, mate.
No, I don't, but I know it's at the start of it.
Hmm.
I can show you on the map.
Yeah. We'll have a lesson afterwards.
Geography lesson.
Geography. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't do the geography lesson. I've got a week off now, so forget it.
Yeah. That's a shame. He could have showed you where Switzerland was as well.
Oh, cheers for that. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I'd like to learn a bit more about Switzerland, actually.
No, we don't need to chat about Switzerland.
I mean, those pictures on Instagram of the of what Switzerland looks like in the summer. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's superb.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, MB Reef, but end of the day, your sump's in the cabinet. and you hardly see it. Also, if you wanted to, I think like Paul said, I think those sumps, if you've got to have them on display, aren't you? You know what I mean? With all the top high end stuff, I think for sure to make it look like a Rolls Royce, I suppose.
Yeah.
Make it look sweet for sure.
Yeah, the guy from BRS, I think is it Ryan? I think Algae Warrior put on there. He had one shipped over, and it come with the skimmer and all the reactors and everything else, and it was all made to go in that.
Yeah. It lives in a £5 million house.
Canary Wharf is not going to be cheap, is it? It's going to be expensive.
Flipping it.
I didn't think there was any houses anyway. It's in all apartments.
There are a few houses, but mostly apartments and flats. What is now? I didn't used to be.
Wow.
Sack that. Sell your £5 million house. Move up here and buy the country.
Mm.
I've still got a dream box refugium laying around. If anyone is interested, a good fit refugium in my tank, I would do. But no. If anybody's interested, would I? Hit Woody up for sure.
Jay, you could take that as a new tank, mate.
I think what's the literage of it? I bet it's quite big. Is it bigger than 75 litre?
Well, I think it's going to be bigger than that. Yeah, it would.
You reckon?
I would imagine. I bet it would be. You know. Yeah. What's the literage in that? In the tank, would it?
Oh God, he must be minted.
Yeah. Wish somebody would buy me 3 radions for my tank. Would I let Jay have it?
Some starfish.
Hey, I'm an Essex girl, born and bred. I buy what? What was that?
All right, mate. So buy some live starfish if you want some.
No, don't go back to that.
Oh God!
Start him off again.
Don't start him off. Don't start him off again. Jay, Hannah. Give him a cup.
That's what you get for calling me my starfish, mate. That's what you get. You know what I mean?
I'm not being
Yeah.
When I get this up.
Cheers, Black Pill Reef. I appreciate it, mate. Jay, you're a Hannah checker, man. I brought some of the phosphate powder and the buggers had put the powder in it.
What? You're joking. You got to be joking. What's
got no powder in it.
The sealed package without powder in.
No,
oh God. That's a cracker.
Jay's a Hannah rep, is he not? He'll be able to sort that out.
No, I'm not a Hannah rep. Not at all. Not at all. But that is one of my favourite. That phosphate one is good. Obviously, if you get the powder with it, geez.
It does help, doesn't it?
That's crazy. I'm sure if you ring them up, they'll put some powder in.
I would definitely get in touch with you.
What are they going to say? Bring them over here and we'll fill them up.
Yeah. I don't know. You're laughing for Steve. There might be no powder in yours that you were just flying. You were showing your nitrate one round.
That's a good point.
Hey,
good point.
Well.
Hey, it was wrapped in plastic, mate, so it should be.
Wrapped.
If not, I'll be going up to Cracking Corals tomorrow and having a chat.
Doing a drive-by.
Yeah, doing a drive-by. Yeah, that's it, mate.
Steve, if you're struggling, mate, I can lend you some.
Yeah, we're all in Scotland.
Ross has got one tap.
I'm going to test my nitrates tomorrow anyway and see what they're like. But I'm not holding much hope that they're going to have gone up within the last 4 or 5 days. So yeah, we'll see.
Scotland is the new reefing capital. It used to be the Northwest, but now it's Scotland, I think.
It is the Northwest, mate. We're the dogs here, mate. We're the dogs. The Northwest. We're the dogs. That's it.
You've lost your flag.
Never.
Scotland.
Never.
We're slowly taking over.
Scotland.
It's 500 before 100 before 100, so it's 100 litres, Jake. So yeah, it's more than your tank.
It's bigger than mine. Send it up here, Woody. I'll have that one.
It's your upgrade, sorted.
That's Jay's upgrade.
That's it. Another 25 litres. That is good. And if you can send me 3 radions as well, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, look, yes, Moxie, yes, exactly, mate. We're the dogs up here. Tell you, we've got everything up here.
There's a lot of reefers in the Northwest and a lot of shops, but
yeah,
I mean,
there is.
when I did that map, it was dominating in the Northwest. I was actually shocked at how little there was in the South and the Southeast. You'd expect London to be like the the home of
London's got hardly any LFS inside the M25. I don't know if there's just not the demand on people keeping tanks. I don't know. Or maybe a lot of people in London will rent, they'll move around more often. Let's face it, if you was to move around every 12, 18 months, you imagine having to move your tank. It'd be a right pain, wouldn't it? So it could be that. I mean, there's a lot of shops around Essex in terms of LFS. That's quite good.
Suppose once you've bought a house in London, you ain't got money for corals in a tank, have you really? That's the problem. You might be able to get some pulsing xenia, and that's about it after you've bought your house. What's Black Pearl Reef saying there? Was he taking the mic
again?
Oh dear.
Yeah, who's your dealer? It's Dom.
These one-liners have cracked me up. Nice stars again.
Perform. Yes,
Reading like mad.
So Pax Bellum. It's that's a reactor, isn't it? Pax Bellum, isn't it? It's a reactor, isn't it?
They do amongst other things, the algae reactors.
Yeah, the algae reactors, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure do other stuff.
Woody,
I know them for.
Paul's put he wants that. Hey Ross, love the lights. Saying works well, really well.
Oh yeah,
you shared your template, didn't you, I think?
Yeah.
Hopefully that works well then. I know it's not suitable for everybody, but fingers crossed it's worked well for you, Julie. So.
Does it still go off at midnight, Ross, on yours? Remember that?
No, so mine's go off at 10 o'clock now, mate. They go off.
Have you tweaked it now?
Yeah, so they come on about, I think they start to ramp up. They start to ramp up at midday and they come on fully about 2 o'clock. And they start to ramp down about 8, give or take. Yeah. And then they're off by 10.
That's similar to mine because no one's really around. I like to see the tank in the evening. So there's no point in it coming on 9 o'clock in the morning. So I don't think mine comes on to about half 12, 1 o'clock. And then you said they'll go off about, I think it's 10:30, my tank goes off.
A lot of people have said to me that their light schedules, they're darkness by about 5, 6 o'clock. And I think, what's the point? When you come home from work, you're only getting the very small period of it. So I think you're better having it dark until after lunchtime because realistically, you're only going to get the weekend where you're seeing that. So if you're at work during the day, then I think you're as well to have your light schedule in later, as long as it's been used to that. So
it makes no difference to the tank, does it? What time it comes on and what time it goes off, it doesn't matter.
No.
No, I can't change the lights because Mobius have let me down, haven't they? So what's going on?
So
this update better be good because I haven't seen my fish for the last 3 hours.
Surely your lights will have stayed on the same schedule though, Jay, would they not? Or have they dropped the default one?
Yeah, they are. So they'll go off at 10. But the moonlight setting on the so mine's on the AB template.
AB plus,
and it's a 2-hour moonlight. So they go off at 8 and then they're on moonlight from 8, go off at 10. But usually on the live stream I keep them going longer, but obviously this super update, whatever it does. I hope they don't mess with the intensity, otherwise they'll boil the water in this thing. Jesus. Come in tomorrow, be like a kettle.
Don't put any Kobe pods in there or live food, then, Jay.
No. So JB Aquatic has said, unplug your lights, Jay, and plug them back in. That seems to be a common thing that people are saying to fix that.
I
can switch it off and switch it on, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm sure somebody's used this. I know for sure. Anyone use the product Vibrant? I've got all the bubble out there, and it's brilliant. Ross is the man to tell you about this, so I'll leave it to him.
Yeah, just echo what he says. It is really good, actually. I used it for quite a while beforehand. Well, I will say it doesn't work on green hair algae, or it didn't work on green hair algae for me, but it works really well on basically anything else. I used it for quite a bit. only thing is, and I don't know if it's the same or if it's a coincidence, but a lot of people have said that they get cyano afterwards when they stop using it.
I reckon, Ross. I think that's true.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I will say.
Very
but
true.
I don't know if that's proven or not. I'm not really sure. But
So
yeah.
Is it supposed to be used on a regular basis or just as a short-term fix for problems?
So it says you can use it on a regular basis. So I think it's designed for that, mate. I don't think it's a short-term thing. I think it's more designed at long-term. But again,
is that even if you don't have bubble algae and stuff like that, or once the bubble algae, is it completely
just a bacteria? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's for clearing up your tank water, really, mate. It's a water clarifier. Is that the right word?
Yeah, clarifier.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not designed for green hair algae. It certainly won't touch that. But
is it doing it, Jay?
No, it's just whirring.
It's still whirring.
Did you have it switched off for 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
I thought it was 20 seconds.
It just sounds like the IT department at work. If anything goes wrong, just say, "Oh, have you switched
just switch it off."
No, look. Try again later, it says.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Just need to buy a decent light then, mate.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a good update. I've got a good feeling about this update. It's been doing it for about 4 hours.
They would have released Gen 6.
Don't let us down, Mobius. You're building it up to be a good update.
Yeah, Paul's point. It does work.
What's he saying there? More sand than what? Water? When I get
Fish no chips is put. Do you leave the lights on for the scooter Blenny in his bedroom, mate, just so he doesn't get scared?
Oh, we had that, but he didn't like it dark, did he?
Yeah, this is here, look.
Oh yeah, didn't like it dark last week.
That's the night lights there, look. The night lights.
Do you leave them on, Jay? Them, yeah.
I leave them on all night, yeah. All night. Look it up, Steve. The fish get spooked by complete darkness. Honestly. That's why you got a moonlight setting on your light. Yeah, but then it goes off at 10 and it's pitch black in it.
I just keep my moonlight. Kept my moonlight all the time on mine.
Do you?
Serious?
The moon doesn't go in, does it? When it's out in the ocean.
It goes behind a cloud.
Yeah, well, you put the cloud setting on.
Simulate cloud settings there.
and the thunder as well. Jay likes a nice storm over his tank.
Yeah. Have a bit of thunder and lightning go off, mate, and stuff like that.
So seriously, you leave it on all night?
Yeah, moonlight setting on the very lowest setting, on the very last one. Yeah,
people do that. I don't think anyone else does.
I've always done it, mate.
I used to do it,
always,
but I don't do it anymore. I used to do it.
I need to do.
Because remember the corals. Because remember then, yeah, it's like simulating like corals that are on top of the at the very top, yeah. But remember the moon still comes through, even though it's dark, but it still comes through the top.
I know,
you know what I mean?
The sea's not perfectly dark on where the corals are, is it?
No, unless you're like 20, 30 feet down, 40 feet down, then yeah, it's different. But
so what time does it go off then, Steve? When it gets light out, so you get natural light in the tank.
Yeah, well, I leave my moonlight in all the way through, and then my lights start to come on at 6. The switch starts to come on at 6, and then I've got them on a slow ramp, so it goes from 6 then to 10 to 10 o'clock, and then from 10 it does like not a sharp spike, but like an average one up to 12 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock that's like the pinnacle, like the top light then, and then it goes across, and then it cools down then from 12 till 4, then it starts to ramp down, and it stopped. Then I've leveled it off. I think it's 6 o'clock, and then it starts to go till 9, and then it goes off. Then, so it's a fairly long schedule in one sense. But then from 9, it goes on to moonlight then, and then that's all the way through till 6 in the morning. So yeah, I just have it like that.
You can track the moon on the app all the way around to the next day,
You just said it, don't you? On it on the timeline.
1 minute past midnight.
From 1 minute.
I know.
1 minute past midnight, right through to 23:59 or whatever setting.
Yeah, 23:59. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you could run Moonlight all day, 24 hours if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It's not if you wanted to. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that, and then I can turn these LEDs off.
Yeah, trust me, mate. Set it on. Your corals will love you for it.
I reckon. Well, I think the moonlight setting's quite good, to be fair. I don't know if
it does look pretty good, and I'm pretty sure you can change it to go with the moon phases as well. So there's a bit in the app, well, on the AIs where you can choose the moon phases, and it'll follow. It'll make it slightly brighter or slightly darker to tie in with the moon phases, which I think's all to do with coral spawning and that. But if you've only got a small tank, you're not going to be bothered about that.
Oh no, this is where mine isn't working, probably.
No. If everyone else is working,
there's no moon.
That's true. Yeah, you don't always have a moon. Yeah, it goes through a cycle, Steve. What are you going to do there?
Well, you never. Hold on a minute. You know. Actually, yeah, and certain corals spawn in that night under the moonlight, mate. So think about it. Hey, that's
yeah. Well, if
you could wake up to more SPS, Jay.
That'd be good.
That would be stunning, wouldn't it? More SPS in his tank.
Well, you can never have too many corals.
Moon setting is a gimmick. Moon setting's reality, mate. Moon setting's reality. The moon is always out. That's what. Let's be honest. No matter where you are in the world, the moon will always be out. It's always going to be there.
Gary's comment says mine stays on moonlight and SPS is crazy growing. I've heard a lot of people saying that they do keep it on the moonlight.
Well, if I could get on the blooming app, I'd be all right, wouldn't I?
So, Jay, I hate to say it, mine's working as well.
Yours is working?
Yeah, Mobius is working. Not that I need to have it working.
You're still not working, Jay?
No,
Jay.
Buy the new one.
Yeah, you trash that, Jay. Sell it. I'll buy it off you.
It'll swap me for a Harlequin shrimp.
Let me
and some Asterina starfish to go with it, mate.
He doesn't need that. He's LFS, got lovely starfish he can put in there. They love a chocolate chip starfish. They go absolutely nuts for it.
The chocolate chip ones. Yes.
Wait up. I'm doing the 10-second restart.
Yeah, do that, mate.
We're not going to do a countdown, though, Jay. It's not New Year's Eve.
No.
23:59. Oh, Jay's fish jump out. Minute of darkness.
They say, it must be midnight.
They've tried to jump out many times. They can't get past that D&D guard. It's unbelievable.
I'll give what he's put. I've heard of people using moonlight and chromas killed each other. You see my chromas. I think they must eat each other. Mine.
Right, that's 10 seconds now, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah.
Let's reset it on here. Unless they're just doing updates. What are you laughing at?
If Jay's corals spawn, there would be water coming through the floorboards.
Let's not start on the floorboards again.
Oh yeah. Cottage Reef said his Mobius was working.
Oh bloody hell! This is. I don't want to hear this now.
Oh, we've got a crisis.
Right. I'm just reset it again. I had this sort of issue about 4 days ago. Mobius.
Jay's missus likes the moonlight.
Cheers, Michael.
They never ever fail to deliver, do they?
I know. Jeez. Oh, for God's sake. I'm not working, mine isn't. Let's log out.
Have you tried rebooting the app or
reboot your phone? Reboot your phone, Jay. Put your phone back on because your internet went off, didn't it?
Yeah, wait a minute. I've just logged
switch
out
your phone back on and reboot it on. Switch your phone off and reboot it, and it might come on.
Yeah, wait. I might do that. I'll do that next.
Yep. Paul's just said the same.
Right. So yeah. Good luck.
England losing the internet and the power.
I'm gonna reboot my phone.
They have updated the light template settings on Mobius, so that's the reason why they've updated it. That's the reason why it's down.
Thanks for letting us know, mate. That's good to know. Mate. What, all the templates, or have they got a new one, or what?
Oh, Paul's put it's Bluetooth. Doesn't need the internet, so it's Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Because I thought it was Bluetooth. Although where I've used it here, I'm too far away from the tank to use Bluetooth.
Gee, have you got your Bluetooth switched off? Is that what it is?
Don't worry, I've got plenty of Bluetooth. Don't worry about my Bluetooth.
Brilliant.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to go up in the loft now and go get them out.
Don't forget the tinsel.
Oh, yeah. I've got a reefing tree. Right.
Oh, God.
Rebooting my phone here.
Yeah, cheers, Scott. Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, give us a thumbs up, guys. We appreciate you tuning in every week. Yes, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, and we've got a good community going. We're over 50. We always have 50 all the time, every week, so that's really good. You know what I mean? Really.
We always get the most thumbs up when you're on, Steve, for some reason.
No. When Ross is on, they love his voice, mate.
All right.
Well, it was proven during the week. I sent you the link for that.
I know, we saw it.
He's got a brown too. Yeah, right.
Yeah. We've got to chase Ross. We've got to chase Ross in that department.
I've restarted.
Nick's put that. Department, have you tried turning it off and on again?
The phone, you're just doing that and you're
Oh, wait up. Yes.
There we go. Oh, he's happy. Oh, what a relief.
Thank you, guys. What a live stream community. You've actually fixed my Mobius.
What, switch it off and on again?
I know. I'm glad we could all rally together to get that solution.
There you go. There's your tip for your day. After 2 hours, switch your phone off and on.
So what do you do? So there, you know where that moon is there? Do you just drag it all the way around to where it meets the sun again or something? Is that what you do?
Don't know.
There should be a setting, like a moonlight setting, on it.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to you know when your actual graph, when your graph
just
part.
drag the moon round like that.
No, when your graph,
Now you got the moon 24 hours.
No, you've got to drag it on your. You've got to get it on your. On the draft part. The graph part.
There, look. There isn't when the moon goes off, the sun comes up. Look.
Right.
That's it.
Well, you know what? I haven't got that. I've got the AIs. But mine's totally different to that. But on mine, you can draft. You can pull it over on like a draft table. And you could just do it that way. So
no, I've done it, mate.
Just by sliding the sliders. Have you got sliders on yours? Sliders. Do you have sliders on it?
No, it's slightly different, Steve, on the.
Is it slightly different? It's different to the AI.
The AI. The AI one's better.
You need the updates. Get with the times.
Mate, mine's better. I don't need all that nonsense, mate. I just drag the sliders down and it works a treat.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Perfect, mate.
You're not on the latest Mobius update, mate.
Me and Ross, we know what we're talking about. We you know what I mean? Yeah. Ross has got the AI Prime, so he knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just slide the sliders down. Yeah, slide the sliders down to moonlight, switch everything else off, and it's good to go. Yeah. Leave it, set it and play. That's what we call it.
I agree. I prefer the AI app to the Mobius app.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same company, I just think it's better. It's easier to use.
Definitely, it's quite easy.
What are you laughing at now?
What do you think?
Black Pearl Reef comment. Oh man.
Hey, what's going on here now? Right.
Black Pearl Reef put sorry, but everyone can accept AI app destroys the radio app. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. Right. If ever there's one thing, that's for sure. But then again, though, the Mobius app and all that is a relatively new app, in it. In one sense, if you think about it, like on the platform, really, because you had to have the reef link, didn't you, last time? To do it that way. But now it's like it is. I think it's a lot easier to. Pause. But Mobius will be for Ecotech and AI soon. No, I don't. I know they've joined, haven't they? But I think they're two different companies, aren't they? In one sense, you know what I mean. I think AI will just keep it the way they're doing it because it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like I said, you just go over, click and drag the sliders. It's 10 times better. Jay's showing me that, and God, I couldn't be doing with that.
That's easy.
Julie's calling time, but we've still got 45 seconds. So she set an alarm too quick. Okay. But yeah, Jay, send your tank to Woody. He needs a new skimmer collection cup.
Once I've finished with it, he can have it. No, I'll never get rid of this, Max. No, it's my first. I don't think you should ever get rid of your first tank. It's got too many good memories.
Absolutely. Well, if it is Paul, shocking. You shouldn't announce it for sure.
I wouldn't be impressed if they changed it from the AI app.
No, I wouldn't be impressed. I think they'll lose a lot of people. You know, a lot of followers.
You'd have been down all evening if you were on Mobius, because that's what I've been down.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. It's absolutely flown by. I really enjoy, like we said, we enjoy these live streams, these Friday night live streams. But sadly, I won't be here for the next few weeks. Back work commitments are there, which is gutting. But it is one of those things, I suppose. So, whose channel are we on next week? I think it's
thumbs up. I told you get loads of thumbs up.
Yeah, I think it's
me. Yeah,
it's Paul's
my channel next week.
So we've hit 42 thumbs up as well. So that's really good. I think we had like a maximum of 56 people, 57 people. So yeah, so it was really good. Really appreciate you all watching and joining in and coming and joining us on these Friday night live streams, guys. So yeah, massive shout out, and don't forget, head over to Paul's channel next week. And yeah, I'll see you next time I'm back on the live stream, guys. So thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.
Thanks
very much, guys. Cheers.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.